Namaste and greetings everyone. I am Abhishek Karna from Ecstatic Paradoxes Student Research Organization, and I am representing Team Nepal at Asia Pacific Conference of Young Scientists 2021, and I am going to talk about delta rays and their applications in radiobiology. So firstly, the research questions that drove my research. I wanted to find the way to manufacture delta electrons, and by manufacturing here I mean production of delta electrons in large scale. And after producing, I like to study the properties of the delta electrons, which is called beam diagnostics, and applying those properties in the radiobiological applications. So I like to call it the big idea of my research. So cancer has been treated by a lot of different methods like chemotherapy, gene therapy, radiotherapy, and it is seen that all those methods have substantial side effects. And those side effects are really fatal for humans, and I wanted to find a better way to treat cancer. And as a physics student, I found the answer in physics, and the answer is delta electrons. So what delta electrons or delta rays are? So delta rays are basically secondary electrons in the most layman terms. So when a primary high energy electron beam is recoiled, then the secondary electrons generated out of it are called delta electrons. Or it may also be generated when a primary electron beam strikes a surface and the orbiting electrons of the surface atom is ejected out from the surface, which are also the delta electrons. And the surface here may be of transitional metal like zinc or non-metals like Lucalox alumina or sapphire, and the energy is conserved during this interaction of primary electron beam and the surface. And now the experimental arrangement. So this is the self-made illustration of the experimental arrangement and the equipments that we'll use in this research, and these are based upon the equipments available at DC2 Synchrotron, which is located in Hamburg, Germany. And my research was done in correspondence with European Council for Nuclear Research CERN and DC2 Synchrotron from Germany. And from left to right here, the electron and positron beam from the DC2 synchrotron will strike the primary target, generating photons, which will strike the secondary target, and electron positron will be generated again. And the positron will be separated out by using dipole magnet, and the electron will be taken in the further research, further experiment through the collimator, scintillator, halo counter, and the beam telescope to strike the target 1. So the target 1 is again the target that I was talking about earlier, the zinc plate. And after striking the zinc plate, the delta electrons or the secondary electrons will be generated out, which will pass through the collimator and converge into the lead crystal calorimeter, which will measure its energy. So the concern here is how can we control the production of delta electrons or delta rays? So there is something called Monte Carlo simulations, and specifically we'll be using Monte Carlo and transport code to find the number of delta electrons produced, as well as the angle of generation of delta electrons based upon the functions of the energy values and the spin of the initial primary electron beam. And now before testing upon humans, we have to test this technology on an alternative material and get a relatively reference value. So our alternative material here is phospholipid coated heavily weight graphene oxide. So why this material? Because the graphene oxide will mimic the carbon oxygen content of human cell. The weight part will mimic the watery content of our cytoplasm, and the phospholipid will measure or the mimic the cell membrane of our human and human tissues or human cell. And the delta electrons will pass through scintillator, halo counter, beam telescope, and strike the target 2. And we'll measure different parameters like linear energy transfer, Bragg curve, energy thickness curve, survival of dose, radiobiological effectiveness. And by using those parameters values, we can, if those values come under the clinical values, then we can use this technology to treat cancer all around the world. And now, what really happens when delta electron strikes a human cancerous cell? So firstly, the cross-trace effect is when a healthy cell is affected adjacent to the affected cell when delta electron strikes the affected cell. And the bystander effect is when a relatively distant cell is affected due to the radiation from the delta electron beam, which is really minimal in the case of delta electron. So there is no much issue regarding the side effects. And the third thing is direct and indirect DNA damage. Direct DNA damage means when the delta electron strikes the DNA directly and breaks the strands of the DNA, and cell death occurs by it. And the indirect DNA damage is when delta electrons ionizes the cytoplasmic content, forming the reactive oxygen species ROS, and the ROS attacks the DNA and breaks the peptide bond between the DNA. And we can mark this damage by doing confocal immunofluorescence microscopy. And now, why should we use delta electrons? Why am I stressing upon using delta electrons, even though there are a lot of different methods? So first thing is penumbral radius, which means the energy is distributed homogeneously around the delta electron, and we can measure or calculate by using a formula the radius of the delta energy around the delta electrons. And the second thing is linear energy transfer, which means the penetration of delta electrons is from 3 micrometers to millimeters inside the human cell, which makes it really precise to treat cancer. And the side effect is minimal due to its lesser energy values. And now the key takeaway, the major thing that you should remember in my presentation is that delta rays may be used to treat micrometer to millimeter size tumors and revolutionize the way of treating cancer all around the world. These are my research components, and if you'd like to know about any of this, please contact me in the email mentioned at the right bottom. I'd like to acknowledge my supporters, Kamal Bahadur Ahmadi sir and Paul Suez from Germany, who helped me throughout the research, and I'd like to thank the organizers for having me here, everyone. Namaste.